Well guys, here we are, of course, another day on the project. Well, the goal for today is to get all the joists, of course, in all the way across, to get the clothesline pole cut off, and basically slide everything back, fasten everything down, make it one solid chunk or piece, double up the front rail here, basically what I did with the base section, and build this here bottom 10 by 12 deck here, make sure she's all good and pretty much ready for the next lift or next stage. Of course I've got to do some fine fitting here. If you see there, that's nice and narrow, whatever that would be, 14 inches or so, and down here on this end it might be just a optical delusion, but it looks like it's closer to 18 or 20. Of course I'm going to double up both ends to give a little more beefiness there, but that still won't take up the overhang difference. But pretty much today, guys, I'm going to try a little different approach from what I was doing before. I was cutting one or two joists, or 8 foot down to what I need them to be at a time. This time I'm going to cut like 5 or 6, and then basically she should be good to go. Of course, in this section here I need 5, one being the double up that's going to carry the load right here, and then of course there is 2 more right there. These guys here are whatever they'll be, 6 inches shorter because of the jut in for the window and the gas meter. And of course then you have this section here, which should be about the same length or width or whatever you want to call her as the full length boards on the other side, given of course the same double up right there. And depends on how I'm doing for material. I'm probably going to do a double up at the back there, and of course probably another double up right there, because of the twistiness, because of the single cut there, single board having the gap. Of course I do have a few double up joist hangers. That's why I bought them, because I knew I'd be doubling up at least 3 or 4 of them, so then she all should be good. Well guys, there we go, got the floor joist in place. Of course that's approximately where the double one's going to be, and of course single all the way across, and then of course that's where the 2 sections will meet. I'm not sure if I will double them up and run lag bolts through or so. And then of course all these are fastened down to the double, which is down here, which again, that's not 100% sure where that's going to fall, but in the final measurement I'll know where that is. Of course this guy here is the length for there. I will probably double that guy up as well, and then after the joists are in there I will double the back side up, just to make it extra beefy there. Of course I'm running a little low on 8 footers. I've probably got a couple extra 10s at the other end that I can either cut down or return for 8 footers. So basically guys, let's fasten in these next 7 here, get those set in where they need to be. We'll see what we got to do at this end. If it's a little bit of a larger overhang than what I'm comfortable with, we'll remedy that. So yeah, away we go. Well guys, here we go, a little bit of a check-in. Well, of course, got all the floor joists now screwed in, of course, with the exception of the double ups on both ends. Of course I doubled up this end piece here, and of course I'm going to put another one going this way, so effectively it'll be double all way around on all 4 sides. Now of course I did a final measurement on the deck, and I was like 22 feet, whatever it would be, 4 inches or something, I forget exactly. So of course I want it to be 22 feet, plus or minus. And so I pretty much did some measuring. So I figured out the first 4 1/4 inches are going to have to go. So pretty much just setting up the old circular saw here. I'm going to try to cut the best part of the 2x6er off, and then of course once that's cut off, I have to take the old handsaw and then of course you know, finish the other, whatever it would be, 3/4 of an inch or so. So pretty much of course once that's all cut, we can throw the second double up on and then start double upping on the front. So the way this is built, I'm going to have to use 2 of my 12-footers on the front here, and then of course a shortened 12-footer on the back, and then whatever this would be, you can use maybe a couple of scrap boards there, or maybe cut down a 10 or whatever I have to do back there. But pretty much it's coming along fairly good. With the unexpected use of the 12-footer, I may have to make another run down to the lumber yard, which is not a bad thing, I suppose. It's just one of those things I wasn't fully expecting to do. So again, you know, we'll cross that one when we get there, and it is what it is, right? Well guys, here we are. Pretty much, well, that's going to be the look of the framework of the deck. She's all doubled up and good to go. Just have to lock her in place. You know, put my brackets in, run a few more screws in, you know, in the a few places, but we're all good. Of course, I still got to fasten her on down and make her all into one solid piece. And of course, being we have the extra weight on her now, she's bound to have settled or shifted a little, so I'll have to put my jack back under her, and then you know, give a good level, you know, left to right, and you know, east and west as well. So pretty much, you know, she'd be all good. I'm probably gonna have to return my leg bolts that I bought. They look like they're about an inch too long, so I know they will go through the back side, and I'm sure they'll be fine, but you know, you don't want to have them sticking out. For one, it'll just not look right, and two, when you are in there boarding, if your leg happens to go down between the boards, which they will, you could scratch the heck out of your leg on the leg bolt. So pretty much, guys, going to clean on up here, take me a bit of a break, give a run downtown, pick up some stuff, and yeah, away we go. Well guys, here we are, a little bit of a check-in. Of course, haven't made much progress since the last one, but of course made me a run down to the lumberyard, picked me up some more screws and a couple of the little things. Of course, come on back, I'm pretty much starting here, framing up the 10x12 section. Pretty much what I'm going to do is build probably 90% of it right here, put all the joist hangers in, and 2 or 3 joists to keep it square and stuff like that. And then of course come over here and do all the groundwork for it to go. And then what I'm hoping to do is drop her all in place with no real big hassle, and then drop the rest of the joists in, and then basically, well, it will be good to go, you know. Give her a little bit of a level up, whatever is needed, and then, well, take it all from there. Of course, haven't made quite as much progress as I was hoping till today, because I was hoping to have all this fastened down before the end of the day, but hey, there's still time if you get at her, right? Okay guys, so here we go. Of course, the second 10x12 deck is, well, basically all built. It does look a little funny right now, but it looks like that for a reason. To save on weight, I've built it into 2 pieces. Essentially what I'll do is drop the bottom section into place first, fasten her on down, and then of course drop the second section in place, and of course fasten it all down. Basically why I did it this way was to save on weight. Turning a like a 300-pound lift into like maybe a 150-pound lift, and then dropping maybe another 100 pounds, you know, on top of it in there. So that'd be a pretty heavy lift to make. So, you know, you split her up and it's all good. Of course, I've got to cut a 2x8 to go all the way across from right about there, all the way across to well, somewhere in there. Pretty much the plan is to try to get that as low as possible. So pretty much now I have to do some groundwork in here. Get away the, scrape back the gravel, probably just throw it underneath the deck for now. That'll be basically where, most of the gravel is going to end up, eventually anyway. Try to get this ground fairly level-ish. Drop a couple of the deck blocks, of course, in about where I wanna. And then, throw me a level and see about where the deck is going to fall. If it falls too high, well, obviously you got to dig it down. If it falls too low, well, then we have to add some of the adjusters in there to basically bring it up a couple inches. So pretty much, guys, I apologize for not showing a lot of the work, the cutting and the fastening down, stuff like that this time around. But you kind of get in the zone. You're in the final stages of actually building, and basically you want to get her done and get it over with, right? So again, guys, grab me a shovel, get me some digging, and yeah, see what we end up with. Okay, guys, so here we go. Of course, while I'm waiting to get the groundwork done on the other side there, I'm putting in all the screws, bolts, whatever's over here. Pretty much fastening the deck, if you want to say, to the undercarriage or understructure, if you want to say. Pretty much I'm going to put a bracket on every place that I can put a bracket, because really, why not if you got the brackets, right? I've got the bolts and the brackets, so I should be able to do a good old fasten on down, and well, it should all be good. Well, I'm aiming here to get this section all locked down today, and depends on the daylight situation. If there's time, I'd like to get this section here, the groundwork done and basically in place, and then we'll have to go through and put joist hangers on all of the joists and all that, and of course the double hangers on the double joists, and well, all that good stuff. I believe I have 3 sets of double joists, and I have 6 hangers. So basically I have enough joist hangers to do the double joists. But pretty much, guys, it'd be nice if we could raise this whole section up about 4 feet, so you could work at a nice comfortable level instead of leaning on down. But hey, at this stage of the game, that's kind of the way she is. But pretty much, guys, I'm going to get going here, see what happens, and hopefully we can get her all fastened down before the weather closes on in. Well, guys, here we go. A little bit of a final check-in, of course, for the night. Well, the old project went well. Didn't quite make my goal of the day, but at the same time, I made quite a good progress. Of course, the joists are in. The top half is basically fastened to the bottom half, which is fastened to the deck blocks. So really, it's not going to go nowhere. I've walked on it, I've jumped on this leading edge, and it's not moving. I kind of wanted to get this section here dropped on into place tonight, but that's kind of the way she is. If I would have had maybe another couple hours to the day, I probably could have got her down in here. But at the same time, you don't want to overdo her for the day, because, well, you have to get back at her for, the next, right? But pretty much that concludes part 4 of this here project. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.